Hi, I'm Raya.
And I'm Brandon.
And you're watching
More Love with R&B.
And today we are doing the long-awaited part 2 of what may be lacking in your marriage.
Yes.
So we will have
4 things.
4 things that we're going to talk about. And if you haven't seen the first 4, we will link it.
I'm going to try to remember to link it.
Somewhere.
Sure.
But if not, it's in our YouTube.
It's on the channel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of a background. We did do part 1, which is 4 other things that may be lacking in your marriage. And the whole purpose of this was, you said you had read an article where people were asked this question, and these were just some of the results. And so we are just sharing with you some of the things that we saw on this list.
Yeah, what other people said was lacking in their marriage.
Correct. So the first thing we're going to note in this second part is communication. Communication, yes. So first of all, there's a lot you can say about communication. The first thing that we will say is this. A lot of times people find communication lacking in their marriage because they aren't talking. They aren't sharing their ideas. They're not sharing their dreams. They're not sharing their goals. And there's also one really important thing that they're not sharing. Their expectations. If you're not communicating what's going on inside you, then it's very easy for people to get complacent, people to misread each other, and then that turns into arguments. And so a lot of times either you aren't communicating or you're not working on how you communicate. One person yells a lot and the other person shuts down and is really quiet. We have
a video about that, by the way.
Yes, we do. Another thing about communication is that it's multifaceted. Sometimes you can know a lot about a person about what they say. Sometimes you can know a lot about a person about what they're not saying. So that's just one of the things that we saw that could be lacking in a marriage is communication. Absolutely.
And another thing that was in the article that I saw about what may be lacking in marriages is intimacy. And I was blown away by how many people were actually satisfied with the fact that they were not having sex on a regular basis, that they were not just sex, but they're not communicating physically in whatever former
fashion. Well, this is my present fashion. But that's my former fashion.
Form or fashion.
Right.
They didn't hug, kiss, hold hands. They were not intimate with their spouses, and they were okay with this.
It's not cool, bro.
Some people were even bragging. Yeah, man, I don't know when the last time I had sex with my husband. What? I don't understand.
And meanwhile, he's in a corner crying somewhere.
So I don't understand how you could be in a happy marriage if you can't express how you feel about your spouse. And so if you're having trouble with intimacy, you may, number 1, need to check how you feel about your husband or wife. Number 2, you may need to do some internal soul searching. Figure out what is going on where you're feeling disconnected. But that is something that could be lacking in your marriage.
Number 3. So the third thing on our list is time. There's so much to be said about time. One of the main things that we can say about time, though, is that it's the one thing that you can't get back.
Yeah.
Like once it's gone, it's gone. And so when we ask the question, what may be lacking in your marriage? And people say, well, time. And it's typically, we'll kind of go a little bit further and we'll say time spent. Just for starters, just to kind of brush the surface. A lot of times we let a lot of stuff get in the way. We're so busy. We got this going on. We got that going on. We got this party and we're going over to this person's house and we're going to this event. And then the kids have this thing and my cousin has this thing and we're all over the place with our time. We're giving so much time to everything else except for each other.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a huge problem because what ends up happening is over time, people start to get resented and and bitter, and you're kind of looking at each other. Like, what ends up happening is somehow in the midst of all the chaos, there comes like a random Wednesday evening where nothing is happening, and you're looking at each other like, hey, what should we do? And one of you is like, I'm gonna go do something else because you're so used to doing stuff, and the other person's finally got a clue, and they're like, we should spend some time, and then you don't. And now that person's like, dang, like the one day we had an opportunity to spend time and we didn't. And then that's just how things just start spiraling out of control. So make time for each other.
Absolutely. The last thing that we're going to talk about in this video is honesty.
Yes.
And it's kind of, I want to kind of steal something that Brandon said earlier when he was talking about communication. A lot of people are not honest about their expectations. They're not honest about how they feel. Sometimes they're not even honest with themselves.
Uh-oh.
So that they can communicate it to their spouse.
Come on, somebody.
So when I saw the article and I saw that people were saying that honesty was a problem or was lacking in their marriage, you know, it kind of points back to, well, why not? Like, this is the person that you purposefully chose to spend the rest of your life with.
Right.
This is the person that's supposed to be your best friend.
Yeah.
Why can't you be honest? Is there something going on internally that you need to deal with again? Is there a reason why you can't be honest? Is there something that your spouse did? Be that as it may, no good marriage, no good relationship can last or be, what's the word?
Fruitful.
Yeah.
Flourishing.
If you're not honest.
No.
Like, you have to communicate honestly about what you're doing, what you did, how you feel, what you want, what you need. Like, all of these things, that is how you can have a successful and happy marriage and relationship.
Absolutely. Yes. So we hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time checking us out, go ahead and subscribe.
Yes,
we want to thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section if you feel like we've missed anything. We are only doing part 1 and part 2, so this is the last part. Aww. So if you feel like we've missed anything, please share in the comment section, and we would love to respond and get some dialogue going. And that's all we have for now.
Thank you for watching.
See you guys.